We continue with you here on Game Time, presented by Kia. These are your 2018 finalists for the Hole. Once again, and it's I don't even know why we're still saying once again a finalist, but C. Webb. But notice down in the left column, among the names,
the new
our
guy,
Grant Hill, deservedly so, on the list. And we'll talk about some of the other names. But first of all, man, congratulations. One step away, deserved to be here. Can you describe kind of what the moment was like when you found out that you had made this list?
Yeah, I was certainly overwhelmed. And, you know, you start off as a fan. And obviously I was a fan of this man right here, Isaiah Thomas. He and that generation inspired me. But everybody on that list, with all due respect to the Wayland Baptist University, I've been a fan of. I've been a contemporary of some. I've grown up watching some. And so to be in that category with people I respect and admire, regardless of what happens moving forward, is just a great thrill, and I don't really know what to say. I don't want to jinx it, but I do want to say that I'm very grateful and very humbled and honored to be in that, on that list with those great players and great people.
Well, you definitely deserve to be on that list, and you know when you look at that list, Grant, and this is real talk, right? There isn't anyone on that list that has ever been crowned carrier of the league, and I never wore that crown. I mean, there's only few people who wear that crown for a certain period of years. You're talking about the Magics, the Jordans, the Kareems. But when you came in, you know, you had that crown at a very early young age, right? And you were the face of the league. And I've never been – I was one of the faces of the league. But you were that guy, and you were carrying the league. And that's a special torch that not many people get to have. And you had it for several years. And when you had it, you carried it well, brother. So you definitely deserve to be on that list, because there's nobody that's on that list that has ever been the carrier of the league, not even for a week, a month, but you did it for a couple of years. So congratulations to you.
I appreciate that. And just getting those kind words from,
no,
from one of my heroes
that's real talk.
Is greater than any accomplishment.
Plus,
so
we
appreciate that.
We need more Pistons. We need
Mark.
I wasn't really getting you started.
I'm just saying,
that's a side show.
Mark Aguirre should be. I mean, look,
and you know, they coming in the pipe, Chauncey Billups,
and
Wallace.
I mean, come on, man. He won 2 championships. Mark Aguirre, y'all got to put him on there.
Can we okay.
All right.
Let's talk about some of the other guys. And speaking of, you know, being ahead at the forefront of the league, a 2-time MVP and a guy obviously you guys both know and you played with is Steve Nash, also on that list. When we look at the way the game is played now and you look at the 7 seconds and all that with the D'Antoni offense, look, let's be fair. Steve Nash is one of the guys we think of at the forefront of that movement into what we look at as today's NBA.
That's a great point. I mean, Steve Nash had a good career. And then all of a sudden he linked up with Mike D'Antoni. His career took off to another level, became a 2-time MVP, and became a Hall of Fame candidate. And so I played with Steve for 5 years in Phoenix. Just a great player, a great person, very deserving, 2-time to be recognized, 2-time MVP. And just, you know, all those guys. I mean, you know, obviously Nash and what he's done and D'Antoni in terms of sort of ushering this new style. But Weber, Jason Kidd, Ray, like these are friends. These are contemporaries of mine. These are people that I've laced them up and battled. I know them. I know their families. And so I know what they're about. And so all of them, Steve Nash, all those guys I mentioned, Tina Thompson, Katie Smith. So it's to be in that rarefied air and along with that elite company is really special.
You know, Zeke, growing up for myself when I was young, watching you and thinking about the point guard position, Jason Kidd, I mean, when he played and you think about, we always talk about eyes in the back of the head and all that, the way he developed his game, learned to shoot the three later in his career. How about Kidd being on this list here?
I mean, when you talk about Kidd and Nash in that era, those are the two, you know, defining point guards in terms of not only the way they scored the basketball, but the way they passed the basketball. And you talk about Kidd's improving shooting ability, because when he first came in, he was not a great shooter. But then what makes you a Hall of Fame candidate, Hall of Fame person, Hall of Fame player is that you continue to work at your game. You continue to make your game better. You just don't come in and say, I made it, right? Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, you can look at both of those guys and say they improved every single year. They added something to their game. I was with Mark Cuban the day that he was deciding if he should re-sign Nash or let him go to Phoenix. He decided that he would let him go to Phoenix. The rules change, right? Nash becomes two-time MVP. Mark Cuban goes, I'm going to go get Jason Kidd, right? He goes get Jason Kidd because Jason Kidd fits better. And what do? They win a championship in Dallas. So, you know, understanding, and Cuban had a great understanding at that particular time of the point guard position, what was happening, how it was evolving. And you look at Kidd and you look at Nash, and he was right on both of them that they would be Hall of Fame candidates.
Congrats to everybody on the list. The next step, fingers are crossed.